Okay, so back to the fight scene with Strange, Tony, all them. Man, that was everything I wanted it to be. Like straight up, that
Oh
was
my god.
everything I wanted it to be. That entire fight.
Like, I'll be honest, I was not entirely sold on the Iron Spider outfit before I saw the legs.
Dude, when the legs came out,
And then
I
the
Yes.
legs hanging
lost
out.
my shit. Like, and that happened.
Yes.
It happened earlier in the movie when he saves
Yes.
Strange. But
Yeah.
holy shit, when the legs came out, I was just like,
Yes.
yes, yes, I wanted this. This is what I wanted, kind of shit.
Because
And
up until that point, I was like, I don't really care much for the
yeah,
costume.
every time the legs
It's
popped
just a
out, I was
Spider-Man.
just like,
Thank you.
it's on
Thank you.
screen.
No, John, I did the same thing. I think I verbally just screamed out yes, and I can't remember because
Jordan, I kept nudging Jordan every time something like that I was like super nerding out over. I'd just be like, Jordan, they fucking did it. They fucking right.
Yeah,
I was like,
doing the same thing to Tana the entire time.
yeah, but Tana was probably just like, I don't fucking care. Like, shut up. I'm trying to enjoy the movie. But so that fight was like the interlacing of the powers and the fighting
with everybody.
with everybody. Everybody had their role to play, right? Everybody had their kind of like, this is the plan, we're gonna stick to it kind of thing. Seeing Tony throw down with him was awesome, because it was kind of that brawn versus like tech kind of thing. Peter kind of like
Seeing,
jumping in and out when he could to land blows was awesome.
So, like, seeing all of them fight was really cool, and seeing them go toe to toe with Thanos was cool. But I thought it was like seeing Tony falling to Thanos. I thought was way cooler.
Oh yeah. Well, so let's work through this fight.
Okay.
I also loved seeing Thanos use the Infinity Stones because
Yeah.
for all the movies so far, it's been like this very not hold on, I
I
gotta
don't know what
sneeze.
kind of
One
muscle
second.
movement you use in order to do that. That's ridiculous.
Sorry
Well,
about that, guys. I had to mute
nobody
before I
nobody
did.
knows the extent of the powers of
Yeah,
the stones.
and that's what I was
and
gonna say.
he is the first one that
And
knows about
and
it.
that's what I was gonna say. Like when
Strange does.
well no well so I mean so when the Guardians had the Power Stone, right, it was like by sheer coincidence that they were able to do anything with it, and they killed Ronan.
Yeah.
But even Ronan, like, all we saw was him break the the Nova Corps like shield ship thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, like the Reality Stone, we didn't get to see like much because they were just normal people essentially using them. But to see someone on that level use it, like he was, like Tony was shooting like rockets at him, and then he spaced all of the explosion fire into like a single orb, and then shot it back like a flamethrower. When shit, what else happened? When he like used the Power Stone to power through the mirror dimension, like because Strange shot the mirror dimension at him, and he just like I'm just gonna power through this. I can't out magic him, but I
And
can
I
definitely
appreciated that, like,
outstrength
all of their
him.
strategy revolved around, like, don't let him close his hand.
Exactly.
That's bad.
Yes, because
Yeah.
and they made it very point to say like we need to prevent this thing from happening, and their entire strategy was built around that. Seeing fuck, what else? Or see and like man, when he used the Power Stone and then the Space Stone to destroy the moon and bring it down. Oh, dude, I was
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
oh my god, that's awesome.
Oh my god.
Like
Oh
that was
my
amazing.
God.
But
Oh my
to see
God.
everyone like converge on him to try to take the gauntlet off right before that was awesome, because you had Mantis on him trying to put him to sleep. You had Strange holding the glove. Was he holding the glove with the ropes? I think. Drax was holding
No,
onto
he
his
was
leg.
holding-
Peter was pulling him from one side to keep him kind of
Peter
to
Peter and Stark were pulling the glove off.
yeah. Dude, like that entire thing was great because, like you said, everything was focused around preventing him from using the glove, like it should be, right? Again, they weren't trying to just, I'm gonna outmuscle him. You can't outmuscle him. They were like, we need to effectively, negate his abilities. And back to Strange, watching Strange fight in that fight was even better. Like he was without him there, that fight doesn't happen. That fight doesn't work.
Yeah.
They get stomped
They would've been
immediately.
stomped immediately.
But just seeing everything like play out the way it is, seeing him go into his like I'm gonna create copies of myself shit
Like,
was
I really appreciate
fucking
it because
awesome.
he's the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, he is a game changer.
Yes,
Yes.
he straight up is.
This, if there's one thing that I could take away from this movie, it was fucking Doctor Strange, because, like, as somebody who doesn't know much about Doctor Strange, like, and watching the movie previous to this and alluding to
Just how strong he's gonna be.
realities. No, just I'm talking about realities and shit that is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and understanding like, holy shit, there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and that Doctor Strange is able to fucking access those powers.
Oh yeah.
Makes it humongous. And this is the movie that I was just like, holy shit, I want more Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
More than anybody.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Right?
I fucking love it.
oh my god.
I want more Thor. To be perfectly honest,
did-
like,
That too.
Did anybody
yeah.
have a problem with Peter doing the whole freak out thing and causing problems? I didn't.
No.
I didn't.
no, because we had that background of him and Gamora had history,
Mm-hmm.
so that made more sense emotionally than what happened with Thanos.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then seeing him take like, okay, so, well, I want to bounce back to something Strange said before the fight. After we finished talking about the fight, so after that happened, and Thanos was like, "All right, I'm fucking done playing around," kind of shit, and he just starts beating them down one by one, like just like eliminating them as threats. Watching Tony fight him was awesome, like because Tony was giving it, like he was just like in his super desperate mode.
Like 110%.
Yeah, he was literally like, I don't know what, I'm throwing everything I have at him. I'm literally just, I don't know what else I can do, because Peter was like trying to help save the Guardians, like because they were like floating off. I think Strange was kind of incapacitated, and it was really fucking cool seeing the nanobots. Like, so when his armor got damaged, and again I'm nerding out over here. When his armor, I'm fucking just gushing. When his armor got damaged and he started missing parts, watching him reallocate the nanobots to like his repulsor blast on his arm, or reshaping it to the sword at the end, that was awesome, because it showed his ingenuity and his creativity and the just how far he could push the limits of the suit. But then, like I said, he was missing armor on his legs, his face, but he was like, I'm not gonna stop. Like, I'm still motivated by what I've seen with my visions, and I still think that I can potentially save everybody. And just that was great for me. I absolutely love that. Like, just his the way they shot it, and the way RDJ kind of portrayed it, was a man that was like, you're gonna have to fucking kill me. I'm not gonna stop. And Thanos took that blade and fucking stabbed him, and I was legit like, oh shit, this got real fucking serious.
So real quick, when y'all saw it, like there were like maybe 3 moments when my audience audibly went, like, gasped very loudly, and when Tony got hit, everybody gasped loudly. I was surprised.
Yeah, people were legit like concerned. Yeah, that was a great moment. And then seeing Strange try to one-on-one Thanos and just getting beat, and then being like, okay, fine, here's the time stone kind of thing. He had to. But that entire fight scene was just beyond my expectations as far as like the interactions between.
It was so well executed.
Oh yeah, super great. So a couple things
real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so at this point, when Doctor Strange gives Thanos the time stone, to recall an earlier point when the Guardians and like Doctor Strange, Tony, and Peter Parker were, I was about to say Tom Holland,
Space Crew,
were talking to each other. Yeah, when they were talking to each other, and Doctor Strange saw, I can't, like 40 million
Oh yeah, so that's what I was
Different
gonna.
possibilities?
That's exactly what I was gonna bring
I
up.
can't talk about that yet.
That's exactly what I was
No?
gonna bring up. Why not?
I can't.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
it plays into the end of the movie.
Okay, we'll
Really?
wait. We'll wait on that point.
Yeah.
We'll wait on that part.
See, I was just about to start talking about how I think that it's all. And if I say it and you still want to wait till the end, that's fine, Brian. I think that it played out exactly the way Strange wanted it to play out.
Yes.
I think
This is the only way.
Yeah.
The only way that it has to play out, because
Yeah.
there's no. It's already established. He said if you and the
he
kid
said
die,
before they even got there, he was just like flat out, if anything is gonna happen with this stone, I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. So for him
And
to willingly
for-
give it up, yeah, he has to know
Right.
something.
he can't give it away
Yeah.
unless he knows how it's gonna play out.
Exactly.
yes,
And that hits on a
Thank you.
point later in the movie too, when with the snap. So we'll save that to the very end. But yes, I fully subscribe to the idea that Strange knew what was going to happen. He said, "This is the only way that this can
Right.
work."
And not just that, he's already shown that he can and will do that because he did it with Dormammu.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So let's jump to Wakanda. We're already at about an hour. I'm going to try
Oh
to
my
keep this
God.
below an hour and a
That's
half. Because, well, it's a long movie. It's a long
Yeah, I
movie,
know.
Yeah.
and it's
No, it
it's
is.
it's a long movie that's good. So I'm going to say that right fucking now.
Well, I mean,
An hour into this fucking podcast. This movie wasn't a fucking chore to watch like Batman v Superman.
yeah, like there's a lot to digest. but
Yes.
it's all shot very well.
It wasn't
The
a fucking
story
chore.
makes
I
sense.
wasn't like,
Also,
oh, I gotta fucking like Sam. You were super like, I don't want to watch the extended edition again, and we had to be like,
pacing.
and we were like,
Well, so my first viewing of anything, I give a the thing, but I will say the pacing in this movie.
Mhm.
Okay, after watching, like I said, Age of Ultron the
Mhm.
night before, Age of Ultron had terrible pacing.
mhm.
Yes.
That was probably
It
its
was kinda
downfall
all over
because
the place.
because it had to fit it within 2 hours and 15 minutes versus this movie, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes
Mhm.
or 40
And
minutes.
it's only a part
So
one.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So
So
yeah. So I just want to throw that in there an hour into our fucking podcast. So let's go to Wakanda. The plan
Yes.
is to extract the Soul Stone. It was really funny to see Shuri interact with Banner. I want to see her interact with Stark, but yeah,
my
when
God.
she was just like, well, why didn't you do it this way? And he was like, well, we
didn't
didn't think
think of
about it, right? So that was really cool.
can we
Yeah, go ahead.
also the part where Banner's like, he's a king. Do we
Do we
bow?
bow?
And Rose is like, yeah, he's a king.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? And then he's like, we don't do that here. He's like, oh, right. So they were prepping for the fight. They had gotten Bucky his arm, right? Bucky and Cap are reunited. That bromance is there.
So one
Yeah.
thing I will say about the movie is, like, I know that this is only part one. We've still got more to come, but I felt like we didn't get nearly enough Cap in this film.
Well, now
Honestly?
we're gonna get a lot in the next one because
Right,
he's one of the
right.
few remaining.
Yeah,
I was
gonna say,
fine.
like,
I was fine with not getting more
Like,
Cap.
I understand that there's still a second part of the film and he's going to get more screen time, but
Mhm.
like, it makes sense because his team is essentially the B team.
Yeah,
yeah.
So the A team obviously is going to get more play.
for sure.
It also
yeah, go ahead.
it also makes sense dealing with, I don't know how many characters. You have to you have to
Yeah.
cut corners.
See-
so
So seeing Thanos or the Black Order try to drop ships on Wakanda and then them exploding was really cool because it shows like just how much more advanced Wakanda is and how fucking ahead of the game they are, in my opinion. Like
yeah,
everywhere else, right? It was like, oh shit, they can show up at any time, and they were just like, when the ships were coming down, nobody was worried from Wakanda. They were just like, oh hey, look, they exploded. Cool.
Right.
Guess they're gonna have to fucking get around our force field.
Yep.
But
which made it even worse when the troops were trying to get in.
dude, I don't know if anyone else. It was again one of those moments where I got super like just when they opened the gate and the fighting was about to start, and when everybody's running and you just see Cap and T'Challa running
Ugh.
ahead of everybody and like keeping pace with each other. I fucking like I love that. And I call it reading too much into the fucking movies or whatever, but I love that because it definitely shows like why they view each other the way they do, because T'Challa's never going to be like, I'm going to send my army in before me, right? He's like, I'm going to fight with them. And Cap's been the same way, right? He's like, I'm not going to sit in the sidelines and let someone do it for me.
Yeah.
And
he's not going to do something that he's not willing to do himself.
Exactly. And to see them both ahead of everybody, and Cap has kind of been like in his own league as far as like regular people. So to see T'Challa with him, like we're about to just kick some ass, was fucking awesome. Like just them running and just outpacing everybody to kind of show like we're the big targets, like bring it kind of shit. I've like that.
Also, I still love the way that Panther's armor works.
Oh yeah,
the whole building up the kinetic energy is just so cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Watching them fight was really cool. So again, right? They were fighting. They were starting to lose out because just for sheer numbers and like the tech that the Black Order was throwing out. Right? Everything's focused on the Soul Stone. So they were the fact that they were actively watching Wanda and waiting for her to hit the battlefield when things started going south, because Hulk was Banner and Hulkbuster was getting overrun. Cap was even having trouble. T'Challa was having trouble, right? The fact that they were monitoring it again shows that these villains have depth. They've done this before. They know how to isolate and target and fight objectively, right?
Right.
To that as well. Okay, let me start from again.
Words.
So the I guess the troops. I'm gonna call them troops because I don't know what the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
But those things that were like
they're foot soldiers essentially.
Yes, I don't think I understood the gravity of the situation until the movie showed them committing suicide just trying to get in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They didn't care about their own lives. That shows the risk that they're up against, on top of the fact there's so many of them that they were going to surround the perimeter and get behind them if they didn't open up that gate. That shows, like, strategically, that is fucking terrifying. When you have soldiers that are just willing.
And they didn't.
Yes.
And again, they didn't. Right, those troops. They didn't like pan to a scene where the Black Order people are talking to them and they're like, we'll give our lives for you, like do or die.
Because
right, they didn't have to. They straight up were just like, we're gonna show you why these people are dangerous, and they were like throwing their bodies at it.
Well, yes, because they're not. What makes it even worse is the fact that they're not typical soldiers. They're more animal-like, and more crazy. On top of that, there's no reasoning with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Chitauri before them, potentially you could reason with them because they are humanoid and various, but these things, no, fucking no. There's no the end game is they are gonna wipe you out.
They're like the Zerg. They're feral. All they want to do is kill you.
Exactly. Bloodlust.
Gotcha.
That's it.
I'm trying to think. So
Thor. Thor.
Well, wait.
So
still the Wakanda fight before Thor gets there, because I think it happens. Do they start killing the Black Order people before Thor gets there or after?
After.
Is it after?
Was it? Yeah, it was after.
Okay.
It was after. Because Wanda showed up.
Is that what it was? Was she getting overrun? I don't know.
Also, let's not forget, this whole thing was to bide time because they were trying to separate the Soul Stone from Vision.
Yes. Wanda saw what happened and she was like, "Oh shit!
Yeah,
I got to make a decision."
Right. She had to decide if she was going to stay there to protect her if anything went bad, or if she was going to step in.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so they did get killed after because everyone's getting overrun. Yeah, you're right.
And the giant underground things. Yeah. Also too, I think this is the point where, to what Q had mentioned, like her powers have grown. This is the really close as Scarlet Witch as we have seen in the comics, right?
Right.
Yeah.
She's fucking powerful.
So let's go to Thor before we do the final fight at Wakanda.
Well, before we talk about that, the whole part with Shuri, when she was trying to separate that stone, I kind of got the feeling that whatever she was trying to do in desperation worked out for her, and I think we're gonna get into that in the second film.
Mm-hmm.
Because she definitely grabbed something and rolled away from Vision before it happened.
Gotcha.
Yes, but did she survive the end?
That's true. We don't know.
Right.
Mm.
But I think whether or not she survived, I think there's going to be repercussions for what she was doing.
For sure. Okay, so we'll get back to Thor's storyline. So he's traveling with Rocket.
Oh, yeah.
That interaction was cool because it was serious / kind of, again, right, that mixing of film styles when he was talking about losing his dad and losing Odin, and then like his sister trying to kill him, and then losing Loki, and kind of
It's also reflective of Guardians 2 when somebody actually spoke to Rocket emotionally and he responded. He's showing that same interaction with Thor, which is actually really kind of amazing if
Gotcha.
you think about it.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, and that plays off of Rocket from the second movie, right, where he's kind of becoming more emotionally expressive. I do like how they got rid of the whole having to deal with Hemsworth having an eye patch by Rocket doing his whole like, oh, here, you probably want this. He's like, where'd you get this? Kind of thing. That was funny. I enjoyed that. That great, because he's always going to throw back to that. Seeing Peter Dinklage.
They go to friggin' Nita Veller, which is kind of a big deal. Because this also has, like, I don't know if it's going to get into it, but it has implications, like, further on in the comics. Like, Stormbreaker being forged. Stormbreaker was forged for Beta Ray Bill, not for Odin. Or not Odin, not for Thor. But, they also used the forge in Fear itself.
Yeah, I remember.
That was when they were forging god weapons, like Tony powered
Yes.
the forge. So that
Yeah.
could also play into the next part of the film.
That'd be interesting. For sure.
But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
they go to Nita Veller, they meet Peter Dinklage, and
Tyrion Lannister.
start putting together Stormbreaker, which is going to be Thor's new Mjolnir.
Yeah. Dude, it was cool. Like, and again, right, it just goes to show you their ideas. Like, Thor didn't have a technical way to start the star up again. He was like, just throw me at it and I'll grab it and we'll, right? Like, I love that because it's very Thor-esque. Like, that's not a Tony solution. That's not a Guardian solution. Well, kind of, right, with the Rocket. Like, Rocket was just like, sure, whatever. Yeah, right. It was a very much like, Thor's going to solve this the way he thinks that he can solve it. And that's by just muscling through it. So that was really cool. And then
just like, I can take it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and then his whole thing of like, this could kill you. I think that moment kind of had more gravity than I've seen in other movies where they're kind of like the if you do this you could die thing, because he had already expressed to Rocket that he doesn't have anything else to live for, right? His family's dead. Like he's nothing left to lose.
Like his people are dead, his realm is dead. His brother just died.
And in his opinion, if he doesn't get this weapon, he's going to die anyway if he tries to fight Thanos. So it very much like for him it was very much like for multiple reasons. If he dies doing it, oh well. I don't have a family, so it doesn't matter.
Like at that point, he's already seen what Thanos can do. He's like, if I can't do this, I'm just going to die if I try and fight Thanos again anyway.
Yeah. So I think it handled that moment better than I think a lot of movies have, where they have that whole like I'm gonna sacrifice myself potentially to come out stronger kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, yes, I will say yes, that makes sense. But at the same time, who builds a fucking like open star thing? Like you're gonna hold these two little handles.
Right.
It seems
okay.
dumb.
Fair enough. Right. Like the mechanism is like
saying.
this tiny thing compared to the entire base. Sure.
And who's gonna? Somebody has to hold it. I'm gonna make the manual controls in the center of the.
And then we're only gonna have one of these things on this entire station.
Dwarves are not known for making technical marvels that make sense. They're just known for making technical marvels.
But this is like a basic design of like yes, maybe not do this.
Well, Sam, you write a paper to Kevin Feige and you explain to him why that was dumb. Okay, let me know what the response is.
I don't need to do that. I just
no, I understand. I get you. But yeah, seeing it forged was cool.
Yes,
having Groot be the handle was cool. I thought that was a nice addition.
Yes, It shows that he's gonna grow up to be the Groot that was in the previous movie. Movie, you know.
Yeah, and then
And that he's not gonna just play defenders all the time.
right. Okay, so now Thor is, dude. When Thor made his fucking entrance, oh
Oh.
my
Badass
god!
part.
When he just jumped in the air and you
Like-
saw everything just like start crackling with electricity and the lightning, and then he just fucking slammed down. I was like, yes, because again, right? And we're talking about old fucking movies, but my biggest problem with like the first Thor was like I didn't feel like he was a god, like a god. When he fucking did that shit, I was like, oh yeah. This guy, again, he's out of everyone's league here.
Like he shows up and he's just like, "Bring me Thanos."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. He was like fucking throwing his hammer through shit and it was just getting fucking blown up. Dude, oh, God, that was amazing. And so, again, a couple criticisms I read about Thor. There were people that really wanted him to have his hammer more. I disagree with that. Like,
the fact that it blew up in the previous movie, you can't.
well, they
can't
wanted
do
to see
that.
more of Thor with his hammer. And yes, objectively, that would have been cool. But
Yeah.
by him not having the hammer and having to go on this journey for it and then showing up to use it like and put it on display,
Right. Well, like
that means
if
more.
You showed more of it, you
Yeah.
don't get the same gravity. Like,
Exactly.
He went on this journey. He just forged this weapon out of a star,
Mhm.
and of course he's not going to do a whole lot with it because he's not going to need to do a whole lot with it.
Yeah. It's just that fucking powerful. Okay, so they're fighting. Thor gets there. He starts kicking ass. So then, again, Black Order starts isolating. I loved the Hulkbuster, Banner, and Hammer Dude fight because it had so many throwbacks to Tony's fight with him. And again, Banner didn't outmuscle him. He strategized and killed him with something that Tony had done to him.
Right.
He had to, considering that the Hulk wasn't willing to come out for
Exactly.
whatever reason.
And right, like the
I
throwback
will-
to the glove.
I appreciated that he was willing to improvise like that, but I also had a problem with Banner being able to do that just because he doesn't really have any combat prowess, like at all.
Mhm.
Like zero.
Well, one could make the extrapolation that Tony used Jarvis to help fight Cap and Bucky, and now he has the Friday
Yeah,
AI. So
that's true.
you could definitely kind of extrapolate and say, okay, well, it definitely couldn't have been all Banner. Like there definitely could have been some sort of AI assistance. Because you're right, he doesn't have combat experience outside of being the Hulk. And it's not like he was winning that fight, right? Like he was definitely struggling with it. But I just liked that he killed him using the glove gauntlet rocketing up into a fucking force field thing because Tony did that to him. And it's like, oh, so that's what that feels like kind of shit. I also like that when the Black Order Horn chick was fighting Scarlet, or she was fighting
And Okoye.
yeah. They were duking it out, and again, right, they didn't overpower her. That blade wheel thing came over them once, and Wanda recognized that, and when she saw an opportunity for it again, she was like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw her up into that. I like that kind of shit. They didn't just beat her down and like, haha, we've defeated you. They were like, we need to kill this bitch. Throw her into her blade thing. Done.
Right.
And how like and this is more like just from a fighting standpoint, watching like Sam and Rhodey, because they're like military background, watching them like target specific, like attack the side of the wheel kind of thing, or like, you know, go for these kind of like specific objects. I loved seeing
And tow cables.
I fucking loved seeing War Machine like actually like fucking burning people down, like dropping the bombs and seeing the big explosion, and then him just shooting at the gate and just trying to kill as many as possible with all his fucking weapons. It reminded me of Avengers 1 when Thor was shooting his lightning at the opening for the Chitauri, or not the Chitauri. Right? That's what that reminded me of. He was like, this is what I can do most effectively, so I'm going to fucking do it. Right. And, oh, God, fuck, I love this goddamn movie. So that was really cool.
I really liked the Rocket and Bucky interaction.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Trying to get that arm.
Oh, yeah. When he was like, "Can I get that gun?" No. It was like, "What about that arm?" He just ignores him. He's like, "Get that fucking." Like little things like that were super awesome.
Or like when they were fighting and he's like holding Rocket and spinning him around.
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay, so that happens. Vision gets separated, and they're trying to that Blade guy's trying to steal a stone. Who saves him? Is it Cap or Wanda? I think it's Cap.
It's Wanda.
It's Wanda. So Wanda, yeah.
Oh no! It's sorry, it's Cap. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He intervenes and starts fighting him. Then Vision stabs him.
Oh yeah.
That scene where when they're you can tell Thanos is coming and they all sense it. I loved that entire scene from when Thanos was walking from one end to like walking towards Vision, and everyone was just trying to like stop him. And he wasn't even fazed by it, right? Like he was just like, I'm like, right. They were shooting at him, and he was just like, space stoning him away or power stoning him like through him. They couldn't, right? He wasn't concerned at all about making it to Vision, right? He wasn't in a hurry. He wasn't, oh no, I need to get there before. He was just like, I'll get there when I get there. Like,
I mean, he has all the time in the world, literally.
Yeah. And then even though the scene where Cap stops the glove is in the trailer, that was still a great scene.
Yeah.
I love that scene when he's just putting all his weight into it and just trying to stop him.
I think I would enjoy it more personally if they had cut Wanda and Vision talking in the middle of that more so.
But Sam,
Because
they've got to tell each other they love them.
No, I get it. It's just time. Like as far as like time, you're like he just went through like all of them.
We're on a
and
schedule.
He's still taking
Yeah.
time to get through this person.
Yeah, we're on a
like
schedule.
it makes the audience less invested. I feel like I didn't.
Gotcha. I like the
it's fun.
callback to the Tesseract, and then so from the beginning they were always implying that the reason that Wanda could interact with the stone is because she was created of an Infinity Stone, right? Her powers, her and her brother's powers came from the Tesseract.
Is this going to be
So-
how we get Quicksilver back?
Well, I just like that like they didn't just say, Wanda, you're just really powerful, that's why you can do this. They're like, there's a reason you can do this, and it's because your powers were born of an Infinity Stone kind of thing. I like that. Like there's a small little fucking detail that I think lent a lot to those scenes.
I will say that if you hadn't watched Ultron, you would not have picked that up because I like when I first watched Ultron, I did not realize that Strucker created them.
Yeah, by exposing
I didn't
them
get
to
that
the
at first.
Tesseract. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was they kind of went into that a little bit more. A little bit. Because they had
Tiny
that whole
bit.
lead up season for Ultron.
Yeah.
Like not a whole lot, but there was tie-in to it if you looked for it. Again, you have to look for it.
Yeah, but I picked it up after that, so it's fine.
Right.
So then Wanda's able to destroy the stone. We all know that Thanos is just gonna fucking time reverse it, but obviously it's a surprise to everybody else, right? That the explosion is reversed and he's back there again, and now he has to die again. Right? Like now he has to fucking experience again. It was also kind of reminiscent of when he killed Ultron because they were in a wooded area. Like I don't know, it just felt similar. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I know me and Q felt like we needed more time with Wanda and Vision, but it was really heartbreaking to see for Wanda to have to experience it a second
kill
time
him and then
within
watch him be
minutes.
killed. Yes.
Oh yeah. In minutes.
Yeah.
Of it. Yeah.
And then Thor flies. Oh, go ahead.
Thor, God, that scene where Thor just lands straight in Thanos' chest. Like, was so happy with that scene.
Oh yeah. That was great.
It's
and then
like, I told you I'd kill you.
Yeah. And then he was like, you should have gone for the head, and then snaps. And then everything.
Which is exactly what everybody was talking about, right?
And everything changes.
Everybody mentioned about him snapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then everything changed. So
this is where my feelings for the film went downhill
mhm,
because the ending for that film felt very disingenuous to me
really.
because of the number of people that just disappeared.
So
Also,
I didn't have a problem with it, but explain.
Well, okay, this also comes from the fact that I know that they're still working on Spider-Man movies, they're still working on Black Panther movies,
Okay.
and there's still a
Right,
Doctor Strange 2
right.
coming
So
out.
I'm gonna address that once you're done
Right.
talking about it. That's fine.
So the problem that I had with it isn't so much that it happened. My problem is that it seems like again, I think it wouldn't bother me as much if they hadn't retitled the film and just kept it as part 1.
Mm-hmm.
But because they didn't, it feels very disingenuous to me, and it feels very much like this is going to be the first big retcon of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that bothers me because I was really hoping they weren't going to be going that route.
Gotcha.
But they very clearly took away characters that they can't take away because they're still moving forward with those characters.
Well,
so
I don't.
so John,
Go ahead, Sam.
no, go ahead, go.
I don't have a problem with knowing that there are movies coming out after the fact. Like, I know some people that carries a lot of weight with them, but like, I definitely feel like I can be in the moment of the film, and I know that Peter's coming back, and I
Right.
know that Black Panther's coming back. I still don't think for me it takes away from like living in the moment of the movie and thinking, oh shit, like
Right.
these people.
For me,
Yeah, go. Words. Did Brian drop out again?
my
Oh, there.
connection went weird.
Oh,
Sorry.
there. No, you're good.
But like for the film portion of it, like it doesn't bother me. It just at that point it felt very much like a part 1 to me and not like a complete film.
Mm-hmm. Well, we all knew it was going to be part 1,
It
even though
is-
they renamed it.
yeah,
Like, I
it is
didn't.
part
I
one.
didn't see the issue with that. But as
It's
people,
the fact that they renamed it that bothers me.
I don't have a problem with that.
Because
You're crazy.
people that don't know that it was the first part of a 2-part film aren't going to get that.
So, I will honestly say the people that are going to see this movie, like I would venture to say 95% of them know that it's part 1.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't seem just disingenuous. I feel like
But,
I didn't.
I don't know.
I didn't have a
I
problem
think
with it.
it raises the stakes more for the second film because now it's like, oh shit, who's gonna come back and who isn't? That's more my
Right.
question than like these characters are just gone.
Gotcha.
and
Maybe
sorry.
the second one had the name because they said they can't reveal the name because it spoils stuff. But
Also,
maybe the
I'm
name
obs-
also implies a second part, right? I don't subscribe to the notion that movies have to be like 1, 2, 3 in terms of their naming conventions. Like I'm totally fine with it being,
But-
a worded title that implies a continuation
also-
of a story. Like I don't subscribe that it has to have a number attached to it personally.
I'm also upset about the fact they got rid of Wanda, so I can't have my house
Yes.
in them.
Yes. So real quick, let me I want to talk. So I don't know if y'all saw this is the problem with watching all the promotional bullshit,
Uh-huh.
right? But they had somebody did ask cannot remember her name, the actress who plays Wanda.
Elizabeth Olsen?
Yes, thank you. They asked Olsen, would you ever get your own film? And she mentioned, yes, she would love to do a House of M, but she's just happy being in the MCU in general.
Mhm.
So, and to that point, I was actually shocked that she disappeared.
Dude, Idris Elba gave an interview where he was like, I would love to have my story expanded in the MCU, and that's why people were speculating that he could have been the Soul Stone, and then they just fucking stabbed him. So I'm fine
Well,
with that.
I'm also entirely okay with the idea that since his character's dead, they could sign him on with a different character.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Especially if they end up doing Moon Knight and they decide to bring him in as Moon Knight. I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
So, and Brandon pointed this out. The 2 characters that could fix everything are gone: Doctor Strange and Wanda.
No, that is not
No.
true.
I can't think of. No.
Ant-Man.
Captain Marvel is still out there,
and Captain Marvel.
still has the power cosmic.
Well, also Ant-Man. There are iterations where he's able to kind of bypass
Right.
certain
He can
things
also
that
do the
Thanos.
whole shrinking to the molecular level and doing all that stuff.
Yeah. There's a thing
Well-
that he does where he can get around it because he like the way when he shrinks down to like a really small size, he enters like a quantum realm or some shit. Like I don't remember exactly what it was.
Like, let's
Well-
just remember that Thanos did kill a lot of heavy hitters, but he didn't kill all the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
So okay, but to that point, or contrast to that point, we don't know what is going on with Ant-Man if he disappeared. We don't know what's happened with like half of the people on the fucking planet in the universe.
Right.
We don't know where they are,
Right.
and including, I will mention, Shuri. We don't know what's going on with Shuri either.
Right.
Gotcha.
But her computers are still there.
We don't know that.
Oh, her
At
computers
this
are still
point,
there.
no. Well, okay, yes, but like for her,
Sam,
but
Thanos
for
had nothing
her-
against technology. Okay, he didn't say I'm going to
I'm
eliminate
It
all
wasn't
the
like,
mechs.
I'm wiping out half of technology in the entire universe.
I just
I think there are enough breadcrumbs in this universe still existing to still beat him, is what I'm saying. I think they've done a good
Well,
job
yeah.
of
They
leaving enough
definitely have the
breadcrumbs.
ability to stop him, and they definitely have the capability of reversing whatever he did.
Otherwise,
I don't know if they'll have the full capability to reverse what he did.
right.
yeah.
But I don't think that. I definitely don't think that any of these characters are gone for good. I think some of the characters that we're still left with are the ones that are going to end up being gone for good.
I think some of them are going to be gone for good. Kind of like a passing of the mantle kind of thing. Real quick, one of the moments in that film that definitely like got me emotional, and people were saying it was like a cheap, not a cheap death or whatever, not cheap, but just kind of cliche. Peter dying
Yeah.
Yes.
It
was
was really
Yes.
well done.
It was,
even
dude.
If I knew he wasn't going to stay gone.
Yeah, Holland and RDJ played that perfectly. Like just from like my own personal standpoint, like you guys being Sam and Brian, not necessarily anybody listening, my whole cancer thing, right? So being young, being 20 when that happened, right? Seeing Peter be that whole like I don't want to go, I don't want, like I'm scared. That hit me really hard. Like it evoked a very like surreal emotion from me because I've lived kind of that, right? Like I've kind of lived that kind of experience. And I think a lot of the people's deaths kind of like resonated well with audiences, like, you know, Thor not having a family anymore, right? I think people probably were touched by that more than me just because there are people that have lived that before, right? I think Tony seeing Parker disappear and Peter realizing that and learning that Gamora's dead, right? That kind of could have hit people who have experienced the loss of a loved one. Like, I don't think like those moments and those emotions that were evoked from those things. I think those are really well done. And like I said, the Peter one hits especially home for me, but it was done really fucking well. Like it was not cheesy in my opinion. It was, you know, I don't know. It just,
I will slightly disagree with you. Only slightly, because it actually so the three reactions that I mainly got from my audience was that Iron Man got hit, didn't die, but when he hit, everybody went, "Oh my god!" When Groot died, everybody was like losing their shit, and I was like, "Whatever, Groot."
yeah.
I'm really not attached to
Been there, done that with OG Groot. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And then the third one we haven't gotten to yet, but with Spider-Man, yes, it actually hit me too. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like like that minute when he just falls over, like that's when it hit me. But I do feel like it was cliched in the fact that they extended his death too long compared to other people. So it just,
well, I feel like
just,
they gave him a little extra time because it was a Tony Parker moment, like a Tony Parker moment. It was a Tony and Parker.
characters out of everyone
I
that Tony was hanging out with that had some kind of history together.
Yeah, because
I get that,
because
but they shouldn't. I feel like they should have cut it off a little bit sooner, just a tiny bit.
I don't mind because like Tony's got to respond to that too, right? Like especially with their interactions in the other movies, right? He knows that, and he knows that he is Tony's guardian. He's Parker's guardian, and he's met Aunt May. Like he knows their like life experience, like their experience with life. Like he knows so much about him. So to see Tony have to react to that too was really interesting. But yeah, we lost like a lot of people.
Like essentially, we're left with the original Avengers, which I think is really cool.
Yeah,
because we're gonna get to see all of the originals throw down in the next film with Thanos.
For sure. And so this kind of plays back into what we're talking about, the time stone thing. Strange very specifically said, like, I'm sorry, but so first Peter said sorry, which is very much in character for him, even as he's dying, right? He's like apologetic. Yeah, I fucking got that scene. But Strange even was like, this is how it had to be.
Right. Yeah, like he knew that this was what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like, Tony, I'm sorry that you had to experience this, but this is the only way kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with that.
Which plays into the whole, this is the only way that I saw us winning.
Mm-hmm, for sure. So then it goes to Thanos with the sunrise thing, and that's kind of where it ends as far as the main movie.
Speaking about the snap, I did actually really like the way that they did it.
Mm-hmm.
How it went into that whole sequence of them being like, what did you have to give?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
With Gamora, yeah. For sure. So that, he sees the sunrise and he's kind of like, you can see he's at rest now. He's like, I've accomplished my goal. This is it, kind of thing. Yeah. I did like that the gauntlet was kind of mangled and his arm was kind of fucked up, because that was kind of cool to kind of show that like
he was harnessing power that he shouldn't have been able to.
Exactly.
And I think it makes people wonder what is going to happen in the next one, because obviously the gauntlet had damage. So what does that actually mean? So, like, somebody like me who hadn't read the comics or anything like that, what does that mean? How is the next part going to happen when he doesn't have the glove, as far as I could tell?
Well, so he still has it, but it is damaged. So yeah, we're unsure kind of what's going to happen.
But they did also show that at the Forge that there had been other attempts at making a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot of options. And see, that's one of the reasons why I don't have a problem with it not being named Part 1 and it being a continuous story. Like, now we get to, hey, guess what, guys? The bad guy won. What now, right? All these movies have been like, bad guy didn't win, we stopped the bad guy. Bad guy won.
Like, don't get me wrong, I did really like it. I felt like with the number of characters that just disappeared, I wasn't able to really feel that emotional about it. Because I was like, they just got rid of so many characters. There's no way that this is going to be irreversible.
Gotcha.
I would...
Like, if it ends up that it isn't irreversible, that's different.
But the acting, like I said, even I know that Tom Holland's going to be back for Spider-Man 2, but when he fucking like went, like when he first fell over, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Like I said, I can live in that moment and be like, this is the way that,
because of the way I enjoy these films, I can't.
Gotcha. And that's fine. Like I'm not saying you're enjoying them wrong. I can live in that moment, that 2 hours and 40 minutes, and be like, this is a part of the story that they're trying to tell, and I'm I'm concerned with how they're going to do it, how they're going to bring him back, right? So, and that's it's a different movie going experience.
Yeah, like the way that I see the film, as soon as I see that happen, I'm like, okay, so how do they reverse this? How do they fix this problem that's immediately come up and they have to fix because the series has to continue after this?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I feel, again, right, that's very comic book-esque.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that. I like that they're directly like, this is how comics do it, we're going to do it like this. After credit scene, unless anyone has anything else to say about the Thanos thing,
no,
it was really cool to see Fury back. It was cool that they did the whole cars crashing and the helicopters.
Fury reacted to the whole thing.
What was that?
Because I loved the way that Fury reacted to the whole thing. How he was just like, he got out of the car, he's like, this shit again? Come on.
Yeah.
And I was glad that Hill actually showed up
Mhm.
because she hasn't been in a movie since Ultron,
Yeah.
and that's been 2000 or 15.
She wasn't in Civil
2015.
War?
No, not that I remember.
Okay.
That was the other girl that.
Oh, you're right. You're right, because
Yeah,
she's usually on
Carter.
screen with Fury anyway. So yeah, it would have been.
Yes.
It would have been
It was
Ultron.
Carter that was in Civil
Yeah,
War.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
Also, this is the point. This is what surprised me, is that audibly, probably the most audible out of everybody that disappeared, everybody freaked out when Nick was starting to disappear.
Right. Yeah.
That surprised the shit out of me because I didn't think he really didn't do much in the other movies.
Yeah.
So I was like, people didn't really.
He shot a rocket launcher at a
know.
plane in the first Avengers. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
And he did.
How dare you?
And he did stuff in Agents of Shield, but
Loki
like
to leave the Tesseract alone.
Mm-hmm.
but he really didn't, like, I don't know.
How dare you,
I was
Sam?
just surprised.
How dare you?
I was just
He
surprised.
also forged Coulson's death and brought the team together.
Yeah, how dare you?
This is true.
Um,
I'm just saying,
He's also
it's
the
a
one
nice.
that started the entire Avengers.
Yeah, how dare you, Sam?
I'm just saying, it's a nice surprise
For
that
sure.
Nick Fury actually got like an audible gasp. It was
Dude,
just
Dude, and then
it's awesome
seeing
to
the
me.
starburst on the fucking high-tech pager.
I love that he was just like,
wait.
I got a plan for this.
Yeah, he was like, he's like, this is a code red kind of like thing.
Because like, I know that Batman is prepared for like everything, but I feel like Nick Fury is prepared for everything beyond Batman.
Right.
Because
So-
he's got so many fucking contingency plans for.
Well, and
everything.
it comes, and we're kind of getting off topic, but it comes more from like his preparedness is from experience, whereas Batman's it just seems like
He knows.
It's like fucking like a giant ass pull where he's just like, oh, I'm Batman, I'm prepared for everything. Nick's like, well, I'm
Yeah.
prepared for everything because I've been through shit. Like I've been through some serious shit.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if you read Secret Invasion or not, John.
Mhm.
But like, oh, aliens have come to the planet and somebody's impersonating me. Don't worry, I got a plan for this. It's gonna be okay.
Right. So
Real-
I definitely want to, because
Real quick.
we're at an hour and a half. So go ahead, Sam.
Just have a question. Well, you know what?
No,
I'll save
go
the question for later.
No, go ahead.
That's fine.
No,
No,
ask
no,
it. No,
It's after. It's
Because
forever.
because I want to
Okay,
do.
so
I do have some.
So-
Answer your question.
Yeah.
Sword is tied into Captain Marvel. Am I?
In the comics, yes,
Yes,
where
in the comics.
they could definitely be introduced into.
That's what I. Oh, I can't wait.
Now they could go a different way, but yes, sword is an option
know.
as far as the Interstellar.
I know.
And it does kind of fit the mold because the Avengers protect the Earth from like,
Yes.
Earth events.
Yeah.
The sorcerers protect it from mystics, so it kind of fits in with that kind of like pattern of, okay, we have space threats that we're addressing as sword. So yes, definitely,
That's what I'm.
it's definitely a possibility.
That makes me excited. That makes me so excited.
Gotcha,
I'm excited because we're finally gonna get to see some fucking cosmic powers being thrown around.
for sure.
That too.
So
Does that mean Uatu?
I don't know. Like, they could very easily set up for Fear itself.
Oh my god. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
No, you
Go
get
ahead.
But there's so much they could do. They could set up for Fear itself. They could do House of M. They could go on to do Secret War.
Secret
there's
War.
just-
Ugh.
There's so many options for what they could do. and how
Secret
they could
Invasion,
continue
the
with
the
it.
Skrull and the Kree War. They can go into that.
Yeah, they could definitely do that, especially if they bring back half the population.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they're just people that are back and they aren't actually people, totally possible.
For sure.
Super Skrull could come in. Fantastic Four could show up.
For sure.
Oh my god.
They're leaving
one of
open a
those
lot of
things
possibilities.
Set it up almost as openly as they did when they originally teased Thanos.
Mm-hmm. So let's. I want to talk about the continuation of the universe, probably in like an after session podcast, just so this one's not super long, because it's already fucking long. But overall, like kind of 1 to 5, your score, and then I know on the spot, kind of placing it in your list isn't as easy, but kind of like give me like a ballpark of like I liked it more than X movie, but probably not as much as Y movie.
That's really hard.
Well, and again, it's gonna be hard on the spot. Like I'm not gonna hold you to it and like next week be like, Brian, you fucking said right. Like, but just like just to kind of ballpark it, like.
But like, if I can go ahead and go first.
Yeah,
then,
go ahead.
Like, I honestly I think I liked it more than I liked the first Avengers.
Really?
Wow.
And even though it had story problems, just it made up for it because the visuals, just everything looked so good, and it looked like I was watching a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been wanting to see on the big screen since they started this entire thing. And it, like, the way that they segmented it out was like a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, like, it made me happy. Whether or not the characters were represented the same way that they are in the comics, they're represented very well on the big screen.
Gotcha. So better than Avengers, probably not as good as what though?
Captain America's the second one,
Winter
right?
Soldier.
Q.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Also, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
It's like the Empire Strikes Back of Infinity Wars, okay?
So, no, I've seen that a lot online. People are definitely comparing it to that. So one to five.
4.5.
Fair enough.
Wow. Yeah.
But like its big parts are just so big and so well done
Gotcha.
that I can excuse some minor gripes about character development that you're not going to get in a film that's just this packed with characters.
Gotcha. Sam?
Out of 5, right?
Yeah, out of 5.
3.5 to 4.
Okay.
Because you know what I think it is, and I think this might actually, and it might reflect back to part of The Last Jedi
Mm-hmm.
and all that sort of Star Wars stuff that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I think my expectations were just slightly too high.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the fact that it, like, unlike The Last Jedi where it subverted all of your expectations,
Mm-hmm.
I think this one there was just so much going on that I couldn't handle it. and I just yes, like I had trouble processing, and what I mainly, if you really want me to critique a movie, I critique it based off of how the movie is presented to the audience versus like the comic feel that it should be resonating from.
Fair enough.
I guess I agree that there's a lot of really good parts of this, but there are like hiccups in this that make it and a lot of emotional scenes that came through didn't hit me as hard as they should.
And maybe the next one, it is part of a two-parter, so maybe the next one might affect, right? And I think that's something I've been wanting to talk to you guys about, specifically Captain America. But yes.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a quick turnaround.
It's really fast.
I'm hoping the next one will be better because this is the setup.
Yeah.
So now that we have the setup,
I think that this one
where's
will
the
be better
execution?
or the next one will be better because it'll be the payoff.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, so kind of like better than what, not better than what.
Oh shit.
Better than Justice League.
Okay, well, I mean by miles.
I mean, yes. I honestly feel like I need to watch this movie again. Unlike the other movies where I didn't feel like I had to do that.
There's just so much to process.
There is a lot. So I feel like, again, if I'm looking at it from a filmmaker's, or I'd say more of a critic, not a filmmaker. I take that back. Avengers above Infinity War Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
I will agree with that. I think better than, and I'm only comparing it to the Avengers because
it is kind of hard to compare it to like a Doctor Strange or an Ant-Man because it is such a different film.
Yeah,
it's better than Ultron, but maybe not really close, but maybe not as good as the first Avengers movie.
Gotcha.
Because the first Avengers movie was really like, it was spot on hard to
I
really
think
pick
you
apart.
liked it because the first Avengers was more character driven.
This was also very character driven.
Yeah, but they didn't have to do as much in the movie because all the
But
character
this
development
wasn't so
happened
much. This
outside of
wasn't
that
like
movie.
building a team.
Yeah, team's established. Team's been. Yeah,
Um,
I get what Brian's
but
saying. And I'm not saying you necessarily
also,
subscribe to that, but like I
no,
get what Brian's saying.
also, I will say that the one thing that I wanted to happen didn't happen, and that was I wanted Tony Stark and Shuri to meet. Like that is the singular fucking event I want to happen in this movie,
Gotcha.
and it
Don't
better
happen.
fucking happen in the next one.
Next film.
I want it so bad.
For
Like,
sure.
they have to recoup. They have to figure out their plan. And
Yes.
Shuri, like I'm assuming Shuri is still alive.
Yeah,
because they
we'll
would've-
assume she's alive.
They would have made sure to show if she wasn't.
Gotcha.
Ah,
Especially because T'Challa's gone.
Yeah.
God, even
that's
seeing
true.
Denai Guerrero is just a fucking amazing actress. Like, sorry to throw that in way after that death scene, but she's great in Walking Dead, and she was great in Black Panther, and she's so good at showing emotion on her face when T'Challa died. Just sorry, random.
I still like that scene where Scarlet Witch shows up and they're just like, "Why was she up there?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was like, "Why was she there the whole time?" Yeah.
what?
So I think, contrary to popular belief that like we're Marvel fanboys, that like they can do no wrong. Like we all agree that this movie is not perfect, and I think the enormous undertaking they have taken over this last 10 years, I didn't expect it to be perfect. I definitely expected there to be hiccups. I expected there to be some issues with maybe some continuity here and there, or maybe with rushing certain scenes or leaving important details out. So, like, by no means is this movie perfect, but you give me a two. I wish it was like a easier time. I wish it was like I could say 2.5 hour movie instead of say 2 hours and 40-minute movie. Like it's
Just saying, nearly 3 hour movie.
2 and 2/3 hour movie, right? But they gave me a movie that I never had to like. I didn't check my watch. I wasn't like, when is this gonna end? It wasn't a fucking chore. It was enjoyable from start to finish for me. Like I said, I was just super giddy when I saw things on screen that I was just like, oh my god, they actually did it. They put it on here. A lot of the emotional scenes hit me. You know, I try to be sympathetic in real life, so that kind of carries over to film when it's trying to portray something. 10 years in the making, and they hit so many points. Like Brian said, visually it was stunning. The cuts were great. Watching everybody kind of go do their own thing was awesome. And then to see it all coalesce at Wakanda when they're just trying to save the world, I didn't have a problem with it. Like I said, it has its hiccups, but I expected it because of what they were trying to do. And just like with the first Avengers, I don't feel like anybody outshined anybody. I loved all the interactions. Like everybody had their role to play.
I have to disagree with that because Strange clearly outshined
Okay, well,
everybody.
yes, but I mean, like in terms of like, it wasn't Doctor Strange and the Avengers. It was the Avengers, right?
It
Like,
could have been Doctor
Yeah.
Strange and the Avengers.
shut the fuck up. But
And Venom.
all in all, like
Starring Tom Hardy.
straight up, like at minimum, it gets a 4. There's too much. Like, I'm gonna go see it again tomorrow or later today because it's 1:30. There's so much to digest in that movie that
Yeah.
I don't think I could properly make a accurate score on it because there's just, I was too busy just freaking out about stuff to nuance watch it and like, how do I feel about it, like as far as storytelling compared to other things. Good at minimum a 4, like easily. I mean, obviously better than Ultron. There were parts about it that I enjoyed more than Avengers, and then there are parts about Avengers that I enjoyed more than this one, right? Like, the fight scenes were taken up to where they needed to be in this movie. Like,
Right.
they make the stuff that happened in Avengers, like, not even like, compare. And I love that. So, like, yes, give me more of that. unfortunately, seeing the team brought together just still resonates a lot more with me because it was such a momentous thing to happen, right? This is the next evolution of that, right? Getting the Avengers on screen was step one, and that will always hold a spot because it was none of us thought it would happen ever.
For me, the reason that I like this one more than the first one is because it's what the first one was building up to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
exactly.
being able to see that payoff, it's just like, look, this is what I wanted. This is what I got.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hate on that.
Yeah, exactly. But it was an enjoyable film all the way through. I mean, definitely watch it, if not multiple times. I think we'll do an after one of this because there are a lot of things I want to talk about as far as the continuation of the Marvel Universe. I want to talk about. I found some things about old comments about when the movies first were coming out and the actors portraying them. I want to talk about those two things in particular. I definitely want to theory about what's going to happen next. So if you've been with us for this long, thanks for sticking around for an hour 40. I'm going to try to edit out stuff that doesn't matter, but this movie was it was long, but it was enjoyable, and we had nothing but great things to say about it. It's different than when we did BBS, where it was
well, that's not true. We didn't have nothing.
Okay, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Suicide Squad. It wasn't Suicide Squad.
Well, I compare BBS because BBS had a similar runtime.
No, but if you want to talk about a movie,
I couldn't I think we all agree we couldn't have been. We were can we just get this over with so we don't have to talk about this fucking movie ever again?
Right.
So yeah, so thanks for sticking with us. I'll do my best on this. If you want to hear kind of or the next iteration, we'll post that one as well, but you're not required to. But thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you Deadpool, probably.
Potentially.
Right? That's the next one?
Yes.
Okay,
well,
Is it Deadpool?
Deadpool is what?
In May.
It's summer.
No, it's
Is it May?
It's May 18th.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's gonna be Deadpool then.
All right. Sam's favorite movie.
Yeah. Best movie 2018.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking around.
Solo is the week after that.
Your favorite movie. All right. Thanks for sticking with us. Keep in touch for the next one, I guess. I don't know. Bye. Guys, say bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.